Hey guys, my name is Sean and I'm a houseplant enthusiast from Jakarta, Indonesia. Welcome to this episode where I show you some of the new plants that I bought recently. Now I did a full all plants tour video I think around 4 months ago to go through all the plants in my collection, but since then a lot has changed. I've gotten rid of most of those plants and I've been getting a lot of new ones. I don't know how many there will be in this video, but I'm going to show you every single one of them. So take this as a part 2 of that episode. If you want to see some of the other older plants I have in my collection that I've had years and years, check that episode. I'm going to link that up above. But it is, I think, over 3 hours long, and it is actually a very good way to learn about plants, how to care for them, and all that good stuff. But yeah, in this one, it's mostly just me flexing the new plants that I got. And I want to explain to you because I know that a lot of you guys heard my announcement that I'm moving to Bangkok. And I'm still in my home here in Indonesia. But by the time you watch this episode, I would actually have been living in Bangkok. So I'm gonna be having one foot in each country, one in Indonesia, one in Bangkok and Thailand. So I'm actually keeping this studio. So we're gonna be working with this space for many years to come, which I really am glad to do. It's a very good decision to make. But also I'm gonna be growing some very interesting plants out here in Indonesia that I feel the Indonesian market lacks. And the idea is that I would grow them up, propagate them, and have them be affordable here in the Indonesia market. So I have a plant store called OnlyPlants.id on Instagram. So if you live in Indonesia, because that Instagram account, I don't export. It's literally for Indonesians only, because Indonesian plants, I want to keep it affordable for the local market. If I charge everything in US dollars, the Indonesians would not be able to afford it. So that is one of my business plan that I'm doing here, is that I want to make a lot of these future mother plants affordable here in Indonesia. So that's what we're going to be seeing mostly here today. They are just interesting plants that I feel has potential in the Indonesian market and maybe in your market too. So you can follow my path, pick it up if you're a business or if you're a collector. But a lot of them I choose based on their beauty, based on their price, and their everlasting quality. I feel like some of these plants would serve well in the gardens of homes because I don't believe in short-term hype of plants. Some of them have interesting behavior, unusual adaptations, just botanically very curious plants that I actually love and would love more people to have. So I'm excited to show you those plants. So without further ado, let's get this started. But you won't be seeing my face in any of these. And feel free to comment down below to see if you would like for me to bring the plant one by one to share with you the plants. But for me, I'm more comfortable with just holding my phone up to the camera, to the plants, and focus on the plants and talk about them without worrying about me being in the frame. But you let me know down below if you prefer to see my face the whole time, or if you just want to see only the plants. All right, the first 2 plants we're going to look at are these Caladiums. This is actually very beautiful. I bought it like as a lush plant, but Caladiums, they don't ship very well. So they have this yellow, red, and green foliage in all the leaves like that. So they're very stable. So I'm looking forward to getting this big. Although I have a feeling that at some point I might have to let this go dormant first and then come back to life. This one here is actually very beautiful. If I have the clip of what it looked like originally, I'll insert that on the screen. I got this a little bit more recent, and it's just not doing so well out here. So I don't know if this is actually going to survive or not. But it has very beautiful foliage, and I will definitely pick this up again if I ever saw it. This is actually one of the more affordable plants. And this is the Lea indica variegata, and it is beautiful variegated plant that can become a little shrub. Beautiful pink petiole and stem. I look forward to getting this big. So right now it's doing quite well. It's rooted very well into this potting media. Let me try to pull it up. Yeah, it is rooted quite well in here. So I'm just letting it grow well. And this is an outdoor type garden plant, and it appreciates being in a bright shade outside rather than being as an indoor plant. If you want to keep this indoors, it's better to get the Lea kochiana burgundy. This is a Phyllanthus, and I actually adore this plant. I've been wanting to get this for a long time. They're actually incredibly affordable. I filmed this a few times in Singapore and one time in Yunnan, and you see those dainty flowers. So I heard that these guys actually can pollinate itself, I don't know, probably by insects or wind, and then the seed will drop into the pot below, and then little seedlings would form down below. So this is actually a very beautiful variegated plant. Let me show you what it looks like from up top. It is quite stunning. And of course, it's got that cute pink petiole. This right here, this is a Decaria madagascariensis. When I got it, I put it in a pot and it didn't do so well. The roots rotted off. So then I just placed it right here in my succulent garden. And lo and behold, it's firmly rooted in here. So I think this is going to survive. I took a cutting up there and put it in water just to see what happens. But this is a nice plant, I think, that really complements the look of this succulent garden. This is a beautiful Plumeria. It's got this like beautiful green mint variegation on the leaves. Now it's a very young plant and I really don't know what the flowers look like, but I bought this based on the leaf. This is another variegated Plumeria. It lost its foliage completely and grew this new set of leaves when it came here, but the variegation didn't look so good. I remember when I bought this plant, I selected it for wonderful variegation. So yeah, this just maybe wasn't so happy. Maybe it was like living in a less than ideal light condition for a few months with me, so it started reverting into a green plant. But I hope now that I've moved here, I grounded it, that this will become something more variegated. It will become big and healthy. And this right here is actually one that is very, very high up on my wish list, or was rather. It's a Plumeria filifolia. I have a dedicated shorts that introduced this plant, but it's basically a Plumeria. It blooms like a Plumeria, but it has this like pine-like leaves. It's one of my most watched shorts, so a lot of people are into this, and I really, really am adoring this. I rehabbed this for a few months in a pot, and then about a week ago I put it in the ground, so hopefully this will take off fast. But as a Plumeria, these guys are very mealybug prone, so I need to keep an eye out for this. This is the Ficus elastica shiveriana. It was an impulse purchase here in Indonesia. Just bought it online. Beautiful variegation. Although I'm surprised, I thought they would have like a more minty white variegation, but this one looks a little bit more yellowish. And next to it, this is the one in our video, so just so you can see them side by side. This is the Ficus elastica taniki, if I'm not wrong. So they look quite nice side by side. I'm really digging this kind of look these days, this kind of bright color. Now this one here is an agave oheirigin. I believe it must be a kind of cultivar or hybrid. Very affordable from Thailand, and I really love it's like very symmetrical pattern of variegation in the center of each leaf. This is a Tradescantia pallida variegated. I'm a big fan of common plants that are variegated. So this is actually uncommon. It was the first time I've seen this, and I really regret not buying more because I only bought a tiny plant and I've propagated it, and the new propagation didn't seem to carry the variegation. So I am very worried about this, but I would not hesitate to pick another one up if I ever saw this. But it is actually incredibly beautiful. Now, will you look at these beautiful Kaempferias? They look like AI-generated plants, but this is in fact real. So I don't know how many varieties I have in total. I just bought them based on how nice they look. And actually in Thailand right now, they're supposed to be dormant. So I remember I was shopping in December or January and there weren't that much available. These guys actually love to sprout in the rainy season, and then in the drier season they would go to dormant for about 2 to 4 months and come back and spring back into life. I mentioned in my Kaempferia short before that these guys are relatively new to the market in that they appear as like single variegated streaks like maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and the Thai breeders have been selectively propagating them, growing them out, finding better and better variegation, and this is the fruits of their labor. They're actually very, very fast growing. I remember, I think this one was one of my first purchases. I got this as a small plant, very, very tiny, and it's grown pretty well in the last, I don't know, 2 to 3 months. And they actually propagate like a ginger. They're actually a relative to the Calathea, so they're in the ginger family and they're propagated pretty much the same way. This one right here is a beautiful clump. I got it as a pot. It's so stunning, and I put this in the ground so that it can grow faster. But we've got some duplicates actually growing upstairs by the balcony. And this is the love of my life. I really love Dischidias. And this one has put out a lot of growth points here. They are very similar to the Hoyas. They're in the same family, in the Apocynaceae, distant cousins. And actually, I did spray a bit of hormone in the middle. You see the stem where a lot of growth has sprung. I sprayed a cytokinin on it that's diluted so that I can encourage some branching in the base of the plant, and it's like taking off really well. So this is going to turn into a pretty bushy plant. But I want to give you an advice that when you spray cytokinin on a plant, you'll need to make sure that the roots are established well first, that it is a healthy plant. If it's not a healthy plant and you try to encourage branching, it will probably die off. Here's another example of that dragon jade Dischidia. Look at all that new vine taking off. Beautiful. This here was sold to me as a full mint monstera, and I guess it's really like the minty look on this leaf that's contrasted with that legacy Estella next to it. But I'm looking forward to this getting big, and I have a feeling that this minty type leaf, they don't get burnt as easily as like those variegated white leaves. And that's one that actually opened up in my care. So I'm looking forward to growing this. That's the roots. Beautiful. With monsteras, I try to grow them in these clear pots because I tend to overwater and rot them. So but if you see like these white color roots, you're good. I know I'm late in the game, but I basically got a Monstera Burl Marks Flame at a very good price. Most of you have bought it like maybe 2, 3, or 4 years ago, but they've come into TC now and they're super affordable. Someone told me that they do take a while to fenestrate, so let me know in the comment section down below to let me know if you had that experience as well. This is a bit unrelated, but this is a Hoya lacunosa variegated, if I'm not wrong, or macrophylla variegated. And this leaf was grown near a light bulb, so it became this very bright color. So I'm really appreciating the look of this plant right now. And down there we've got a variegated Dieffenbachia, and actually that was what spurred my purchase with Freesia Flora. I did see this in Floy and I hesitated to buy it, and I know that they have them in stock, so I messaged them to buy it and ended up buying that Philodendron Florida Beauty crossed with Tortum. And I just grounded this a few days ago, but this is the Florida Beauty crossed with Tortum from Freesia Flora. As far as I know, they were maybe the original or the first hybridizer of this combination, although it's easy to imagine that maybe other hybridizers have also done it. Now I'm a little bit worried about the new leaf. It's losing a bit of variegation, or it's becoming a little bit more sectoral compared to the lower leaf, but eventually this is all gonna be chopped up. But I'm excited to actually grow this big first. So I'm letting it climb up that wall and see what happens. And this is a gift from Freesia Flora. It's actually the Florida Beauty crossed with the Distante lobum. Very interesting, it's got very chubby leaves and also gorgeous variegation. So I'm excited to see what the mature form of this actually looks like. And what I appreciated is that it has very, very close internodes. This is the Alocasia Ninja Splash. It's a black velvet variety, I believe. It's actually not a new plant, it's been around for a while, but I really love its minty color over here. This is the Alocasia longiloba, Black Mamba. Beautiful dark foliage. If you're a big fan of dark foliage with like this very, very maroon underside, this might be the plant for you. It's got such beautiful contrast with that lime green. Something tells me this is going to be a fast grower, but it is still acclimatizing here. But it is one that I look forward to growing here in the garden. It's got such a beautiful, sinister look to it. And next here, we've got the Philodendron Belle Isle, a very beautiful hybrid. I featured this in one of the Bangkok show episodes, I think 1 or 2 years ago. I think 2 years ago. And this one, as a disclaimer, was gifted to me by Variegated Zone. So thank you so much, Up, for giving it to me. He saw me with my puppy eyes as I held this pot up and he said, "You can take one." So thank you, I appreciate it. And this will have a beautiful mature form as it grows bigger and more mature, so I can't wait. This new leaf actually opened here in my care about a week ago. Now, if you follow my episodes in Bangkok and in the Philippines, you'll know how much I rave about the beautiful Philodendron Mayoi variegated. And I finally got my hands on one of these. And they were actually pretty affordable. They were much, much less obscenely priced than it was, I think, about a year ago. Beautiful. I love the shape of the leaf, and the variegation is just quite beautiful if you look at it. This here is the Philodendron White Princess Tricolor, if I'm not wrong. It's got a bit of pink in there. It's like got 4 colors going on, like pink, white, green, and yellow. Actually very, very complex variegation, and I am really loving this plant. I see another, yeah, there are actually new vines appearing. I'm just noticing it now. I don't know if you see it down below. So I'm pretty excited about that. I originally thought I had to cut this plant up to propagate it, but if it's readily giving out new vines, then I welcome it. But how beautiful is this? This is the Philodendron Brown Beauty. It's beautiful. I believe it's a Black Bilite crossed with, I don't know, Florida Beauty, I'm guessing. But if I'm wrong, I'll correct myself on the screen. The mature form actually looks really beautiful, and I regret not picking up the larger one. But for me, usually I tend to go with a cheaper and smaller variety of plants, and I love to see them grow up here in my environment. This is another beautiful philodendron. It's a new generation of the Pink Princess. I believe this might be the Philodendron Pink Princess Galaxy, but someone correct me if I'm wrong. And these guys are actually quite affordable now. Beautiful. Oh my gosh, this is one of my favorite new purchases, the Aglaonema Stonehenge. Such beautiful coloration, and the pattern is just such a beautiful combination. And it's put out like little shoot in the middle of the screen. So this is starting to branch out, and that stem there is telling me it's ready to be propagated. So I'm gonna be working on this plant soon. But this, imagine like that Aglaonema down below in the wall, just like little splashes of color on the wall, on the garden. It is actually quite beautiful and inviting. And this here is an Aglaonema Siam Aurora variegated. Also very, very stunning leaves. I love the complex variegation. The Siam Aurora itself is a very common plant here in Asia. Beautiful reds, but the variegation is so much more extra. I really love this. But I feel like I might have been subjecting this to too much light. It's getting VIP light. And the new leaf seems to be mostly variegated. So I might actually want to pull back from the light at some point. This one here is called the Aglaonema Hues. I also got this at an affordable price in Bangkok. It has very beautiful patterning on the leaves. And this one here looks similar to the one before, but this is actually the Aglaonema Legacy. You can see that at Aglaonema sometimes the varieties are quite similar, but if you put them side by side, they really can be quite different. This one here is called the Aglaonema Black Siam Perfect. It's such beautiful. Look at the new leaf that's come out. Aglaonemas are truly ornate plants. They're very easy to take care of. And I just noticed one thing. I grounded this a while ago, and look at those roots. It's trying to reach down below. How cute is that? Aglaonemas respond really well to grounding. They will clump really fast and they grow really fast. I got this, I think, around December, and somehow since then the price even went up. So I'm glad I managed to get this plant. This is actually a costus. It's supposed to be pink with red underside, but we lost some of its other parts. They're propagated in water, and I hope this will start giving me more pink leaves, pink undertone, because they're actually quite gorgeous when I got it. And this right now looks like nothing, so hopefully I'll have some wonderful updates for you guys. Up there, all the way up in the back, that's actually Monstera number 6. By the time you see this video, you would see me feature this in one of the Bangkok episodes. It's actually gorgeous when it fenestrates and get mature. This is one more Burl Marks flame that I put in the ground. Hopefully this will take off and fenestrate faster. Next to it, this is the Philodendron Birkin Pink. Look at that beautiful pink emergent leaf on this. I also grounded this because I want this to size up fast. And finally, I got the Anthurium Delta Force. This is from TC. It is actually very, very beautiful in person. Very thick leaves, if you like this triangle look. And they're actually very dependable growers. This here is the Calathea mosaica variegated. The variegation is not that beautiful here, so I'm actually in the market to get another one, because ever since I got this variegated mosaica, I've seen a couple more booths in Bangkok selling better varieties of this. But the mosaica is a very easygoing Calathea and one that's good for beginners, and the variegation I think is quite stunning on these. This is another Kaempferia. I just put it in the ground. Hopefully it'll take off. It came out a little bit stressed. It's got some bacterial infection when it arrived and we're taking care of it. But I have a feeling this plant is pretty resilient and it'll pull through. This is a Monstera Thai Constellation Legacy Estella, if I'm not wrong, and it came from Siam Flora. They actually named this plant and it was popularized by Tasson from Tasson Craft Garden. Now I don't know the difference between one Thai Constellation, creme brulee type, legacy, and other types. I can't tell one from another, but this one have been selected for better and better variegation. So these guys, one generation after the next, are looking much better than before. And this here is my pride and joy, the Monstera white lava. I've been in the market for this for a long time. I don't know what happened to that one, but we moved around this plant quite a bit. It was sitting in that empty spot there for a while, but it should be doing okay. So that leaf unfurled here. These are some of the older leaves, and I would love to have more of this around the garden next year. They're actually quite beautiful. I haven't seen many sellers carry this, so I don't know what's happening with this one in the market. This here is a beautiful Anthurium vitarifolium variegated. Look at how gorgeous the variegations are. It's actually a gift from Siam Flora, and they actually have a bunch of this in stock. So you're more than welcome to contact them if you want some of these. And they can get actually quite big. This is still a very juvenile specimen, and I can see here that there's actually 2 branching from this one plant. This will make a very good candidate for a future propagation video. This is one of my fancier Anthurium purchase. This is a Carla crossed with Muclis. Muclis is an Indonesian variety with very beautiful frilled edges. So I don't know what this is gonna grow up to be, as it's a seedling rather than a clone, but I'm really enjoying this look. And let's see what happens with this one. This beauty here is the Aglaonema honey lemon. It's got beautiful variegation of leaves, just very stunning frosty finish on green Aglaonema. That right there reminds me more like a Dieffenbachia type stripe. It's just really, really gorgeous. Really surprised to see this kind of striking stripe on an Aglaonema, if you know what I mean. But Aglaonemas and Dieffenbachias, they're actually distant relatives. The Dieffenbachia come from the New World, and they came from the Old World. This is a gorgeous Begonia Shizuka, and if you hold it in the right light, it can turn a little bit iridescent. Like the color is actually very complex on this. I've got another propagate of this, I think in water somewhere. This is the other one. It was in water, but we actually moved it into soil a while back. But this is such a gorgeous begonia, look at that. And it kind of goes with the painting in the background. This is completely by accident. This is a Dioscorea pixel. It's got beautiful, beautiful leaves, and each leaf vary one from another, but it's got beautiful emergent red color. Look at the teeny tiny baby leaf that's about to come. This has actually taken off. It took a while for it to put out new leaves as I acclimatize here in my home. And something tells me that it might need to be repotted soon because it is getting quite big. This is an Episcia Cleopatra. Been on my wish list for a while, and finally I got my hands on one. As a Episcia, they're actually quite unstoppable. Here's another Episcia. This one is a little bit more interesting and more uncommon. It's called the Pink Smoke, if I'm not wrong. Beautiful variegation on the leaves, but then this is so far from me being pretty slow growing. And this is our third Episcia. It's called the Episcia Snow White. Beautiful color on these. So I'm investing on these plants because I know they're unstoppable, and I'm propagating them, and hopefully I'll get a lush pot of this. This is a gorgeous Dischidia pectinoides. It's got this beautiful bullata where ants can live. And look at all these flowers. It's to put out these cute pink blooms. And this is actually in the same family as the Hoya. They're a relative, distant relatives. You can call them cousins. And I'm going to do some video on how I can get these bullates to show up on the new plants. So I'm going to be doing a few care and propagation video of this. It's a gorgeous Alocasia spinosa. These guys can get really big. So when I got this, it was like a small, tiny plant with like one leaf. Like you can see that the one leaf has died off. And it's put out this baby leaf while it was here, and I was worried about the variegation. And the next leaf turned out pretty nice in variegation. It's got very sharp spines, and they are actually semi-aquatic. So this is living in perpetually moist potting media and getting very good bright indirect light. And this is a very, very, very interesting Syngonium in that they kind of fold up like a taco, and they don't really open up fully. So some of the leaves will open up more flat, some will not. That one is a flat leaf. So I don't know, it's a kind of mutation that they found, and I found this to be very whimsical, and it wasn't that expensive, so I didn't hesitate getting one of these. But let me know what you think about this. It is definitely one that is not. I mean, this is definitely one for the more acquired taste. And oh boy, we've got a ton of alocasias. I'm gonna pull them out one by one. This is the Alocasia Dragon Scale Bright Aurea. This one here is the Alocasia nobilis pink, and this is actually a very fast growing and easy alocasia in my care, and it's sized up pretty fast. And this is a Alocasia Maharani albo. Something happened to that leaf, but pretty decent variegation here. Just need to wait for it to size up a little bit more. This is the Alocasia Simpo albo variegation. This is the Alocasia Jacqueline Aurea variegated. I'm a little bit worried because I don't know if the variegation in this look good or not. The new leaves seem to be doing better, but yeah, we'll see about this one. But the Jacqueline, this is my first time growing one. I haven't grown even the green form yet, so I'm not sure if it's an easy or a difficult one. This is the Alocasia Chanteriri pink. Every time I film at the Bangkok show and it's this beautiful large alocasia in beautiful bright tanks, it's usually the Chanteriri pink. When they mature up and when you put them in tanks, they really are quite showstoppers. As the name suggests, they have this beautiful pink underside, and the new emergent is probably pink as well. This is the Alocasia Lauterbachia elbow, and they can actually get massive. They can get taller than a human being, so I'm excited to grow this one out. But I'm worried because like the newest two leaves seem to be completely elbow, and that could be genetic, but also it's possible that it might be getting too much light. This here is the Alocasia Black Velvet Aurea. I've actually got quite a lot of this going, so I'm just showing you a random one. These are actually very fast growing. These are the corms of the Amazonica crossed with Aurea poly, and a lot of them seem to have very, very stable variegation. Believe it or not, this is actually one of the more expensive ones. This one is supposed to have a kind of a tricolor variegation, so it's a bit of a risky purchase for me. This is also very priced, the Alocasia brancifolia variegated. Every leaf is variegated. I mean, basically I stood there in their lab, I remember just squatting on the floor actually, and looking through to find a better variegation. So I thank the staff there for taking the time with me and letting me select the best variegation in there. But this is going to be a very, very good plant to grow. The brancifolia is one that's easy, and it's got really like palm-like structure to the leaves, especially when it gets bigger. This is the Alocasia longiloba Taikon, also beautiful. They have a lot in stock, and I filmed the larger ones in shorts. They actually size up beautifully and become, I don't know, mid-sized alocasias. This here is the Ninja Gold. So there's two pots of this. They're still very, very, very small, but I can imagine that these guys would size up quite fast. This is the Alocasia Black Velvet Pink. There's actually another one here. Beautiful, like, look at the variegation on this. It's actually very, very stunning. And this is another Alocasia watsoniana crossed with poly, this Aurea. We saw this earlier, but this is such beautiful variegation. Alocasia Holy Grail, it actually will mature up very, very beautifully, but this is still a baby. And I've got a few more Holy Grails over here. They have slightly different forms, one from another. I'm excited to see how they grow up to be. This is an Aslani Aurea, Alocasia. This is an Emerald Tide. To be honest, I must have bought it based on what the mature look like, because the young one here don't look like much. And honestly, I don't remember what the large form looked like. So I'll try to pull it up on the screen for you guys. Now, I'm not familiar with this begonia, but it's not doing well. I tried to rehab it. It's one of the begonias that I got that actually did not do well, and I don't know if I can get this to survive. But I've seen this in plant shows all around. So let's see how this one does. But for me, for the time being, I just feel like this is not an easy one to take care of. This is a Begonia Dainty Spray Spot or Sport, and it's very difficult as well as a begonia. And this is one of the siblings. It was propagated in water, but I don't know if this is gonna make it or not, so let's see. But this is definitely a more difficult begonia to take care of. I think this is a Begonia Lamoon. We lost most of its siblings or its like other cuttings. We only have one left, so hopefully this one will pull through. Also not an easy begonia, but it is actually very, very, very stunning. It looks so nice when the light hit is just nice. and the new leaf is coming out. So if for something like this, if this don't make it, I'll definitely like to get another one. I don't know the name of this begonia, but this is one that I feel like is one that is used more heavily in landscape and is known for its blooms rather than its leaves. But this is the variegated variety. And I've got another sibling over here. I believe this is where the original plant was cut off. You see where we made the cuts. And hopefully we'll have more of this going. But begonias for me are quite on the struggle bus. This is a Syngonium erythrophilus that is a one-leafer. It's got red underside. So I'm waiting for the vine to show up. Hopefully something will come out of this. This is a Philodendron brantianum variegated that I got, and I cut it on and put it in water because the top vine wasn't doing well. It was like one leggy plant. And then the base, this is where I made the cut. And actually 2 new growth points has emerged, so hopefully this will pull through just fine. But the brantianum is actually beautiful, and I'm glad to get the variegated one. I love Philodendron tortum. They do a beautiful dance when their leaves unfurl. So this is a baby one that is variegated, and they're actually pretty fast growing. So I'm excited to see this one take off. Alright, thank you so much for watching this all the way to the very end. I'm excited to grow these in my house, make more videos for you guys, and spend more time in Bangkok meanwhile. And for most of you, you're welcome to leave, but for those of you who want to contribute financially to the channel for as much as a cup of coffee a month, you may do so by joining my Patreon at patreon.com/Sean from OnlyPlants, or you may join as a YouTube member. Simply open any of my videos from a computer browser, and now you can actually open it from the app as well. And next to my channel name, you will see that join button. I guess I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.